Ting tong, ting tong. Udah online kah? Ya, sudah online nampaknya. Oke, jadi kawan-kawan semua, gue pengen belajar yang satu ini ya, tentang Holo Fuel Ekonomi. Jadi video ini akan sedikit membosankan. Ya, bakal membosankan karena gue akan nonton video ini selama 37 menit. Lalu saya akan cobalah mengambil isi-isi penting, lalu saya ketik-ketikan di sini di di Microsoft Word ini ya, apa-apa saja yang penting dalam video ini. Jadi ini bakal video yang membosankan, yang sangat raw karena nggak saya edit. Jadi let's get started dude. Langsung aja kita dengar. Tentang aku mau kecilin suaranya sedikit.
My name is Alistair Ong and I'm part of the Holo team. Today I'd like to give an introductory presentation on Holo Fuel economics.
Okay, Holo Fuel economic.
In this presentation, I will talk primarily about the conceptual design, that is, how we want the system to behave, and the design choices we make to achieve this. In doing so, the behavior we are most interested in defining are the economic signals produced under different conditions and ensuring that these facilitate a healthy ecosystem. We start with a fundamental question, which is, why do we need Holo Fuel? Why not use one of the many alternatives out there, whether existing payment networks or existing cryptocurrencies? Well, what we care most about is being able to effectively facilitate and record transfers of value across the Holo network. Since these transfers of value represent the process by which hosting is provisioned correctly across a decentralized network. To do this, we define several requirements in the green paper. From a technological perspective, we need to be able to handle extremely high levels.
Oke, jadi yang pertama, why do you need Holo Fuels ya? Kenapa Holo Fuels? Oke. Jadi di sini dibilang sama dia Holo Fuel itu diperlukan dalam network dia karena untuk handle dirancang sedemikian rupa untuk menghandle TPS yang tinggi. Tunggu aku harus ulang lagi nih dia ngomong apa tadi. Facilitate is about being
and record
Oke. Untuk facilitate bahasa Indonesianya apa ya? Bahasa Inggrisnya. Dia untuk facilitate holo chain ecosystem. Ekosistem digunakan secara spesifik. Facilitate bahasa Indonesia apa facilitate? Aduh, nggak tahu.
Transfers of value across the Holo.
Oke. Sebagai transfers of value, raw lah, biar gitu aja dulu. Tunggu gue tengok HP dulu bentar, tengok ada yang ngechat nggak. Video mana dia. Oke, kayaknya belum ada. Good, all looks good. Ini terlalu kecil kah tulisan gua? Agak gede sedikit lah. Jangan hilang kepalanya. Nampak nggak ya? Terbaca lah. Gua tengok di HP ku dulu. Mak, kecil banget tulisannya, nggak nampak kayaknya. Gua harus besarin sedikit. Oke, gua gedein dulu tulisannya. 20 nampak nggak? Yes, nampak dah. Great, lanjut.
Network. Since these transfers of value represent the process by which hosting is provisioned correctly across a decentralized network. To do this, we define several requirements in the green paper. From a technological perspective, we need to be able to handle extremely high levels of microtransactions on the order of hundreds of thousands or millions of transactions.
Okay, hundred of thousand berarti 100 100.000. Sesuai dengan green papernya. Memproses lebih dari 100.000 transaksi per detik. Kah? Infinite lah, infinite. Bisa dibilang infinite lah, karena holochain kan TPS-nya unlimited. Infinite is unlimited, unlimited TPS. Okay, next.
Per day, since that is the nature of how distributed hosting will be provisioned. This requires cryptocurrency-like technologies, since existing payment networks are not able to handle these microtransactions economically. From an economic perspective, we need price signals that are both stable and accurately reflect underlying activity, so that users and hosts can make long-term plans with confidence. We assert that this requires a cryptocurrency that is backed by the hosting capacity of the network. I would then further assert that this makes making it hosting backed requires agent centricity, and therefore a cryptocurrency built on holochain, that is Holo Fuel.
Oke, balik sedikit lagi. Tadi dia ngomong tentang apa? Holo Fuel ini di back. Holo Fuel ini didukung atau back lah ya bahasa Inggrisnya, oleh network hosting capacity. Oke, aku kurang suka cara dia ngomong. Agak nggak sama kayak si Matthew. Kalau Matthew itu ngomong, wih enak banget dengernya. Yang satu ini kayak baca buku. Gue juga kayak baca buku sekarang. Holo Fuel ini didukung oleh network oleh hosting capacity. Hosting yang no. Tiba oleh hosting oleh kapasitas hosting di networknya. Oke. Jadi inilah mungkin membedakan, inilah fungsinya Holo Fuel. Kenapa ada Holo Fuel? Oke, jadi di sini cukup apa ya? Cukup jelas juga ya. Pertama, Holo Fuel ini didukung oleh kapasitas untuk talking about. Maksudnya Holo Fuel ini kan mempresentasikan hosting value di network. Tapi dia juga dapat digunakan secara spesifik untuk memfasilitaskan holochain sebagai transfer of value. Jadi nggak cuman hanya dipakai untuk buy hosting, tapi juga bisa dipakai untuk transfer of value dalam networknya holochain. Jadi nanti kalau holochain banyak banyak aplikasi, Holo Fuel ini juga bisa digunakan untuk memfasilitaskan sebagai transfer of value seperti itu. Memfasilitas ini didukung oleh, ini kayak yang kurang bagus lah perkataannya, didukung mempresentasikan didukung back dengan cost hosting lah, back dengan cost hosting deh networknya. Oke, ini lebih bagus kayaknya. Oke, lanjut.
Hosting backed requires agent centricity, and therefore a cryptocurrency built on holochain, that is Holo Fuel.
Ya, aku udah dengar hosting backed bla 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 bla.
Let's dig deeper into that assertion that we require agent centricity. For Holo Fuel to be backed by hosting, hosts either individually or collectively have to always be willing to provide hosting services in return for fuel. This could be done by promising to allow hosts to redeem fuel for something else.
Yeah.
But that just means that Holo Fuel is then backed by another asset, such as gold. And then the economic signals within the Holo network are then driven by gold's economic signals rather than the economic signals of hosting. To make it truly hosting backed, Holo Fuel should be created through lending to hosts. In this way, hosts will always demand Holo Fuel, since they need it to pay back their debts. It also means that new Holo Fuel is generally created when the network can produce more hosting, and vice versa. This is in fact how modern money works. So if we want to lend to hosts, we must understand how creditworthy they are and be able to enforce that creditworthiness. Doing that requires agent centricity, since it requires understanding the identity of nodes participating in hosting. And I would like to point out that while this requires the removal of anonymity from hosts and anyone who has credit extended to them, we need to do that anyway to comply with AML and KYC regulations.
Okay. Tunggu, balik.
We need to do that anyway.
Ngomongnya kurang ngerti gue. Holo Fuel backed by host can be created through lending host. Holo Fuel backed by hosting can be created through lending host. Okay. Host has to host application to pay. Tapi yang aku rasakan penting ya dalam yang satu ini adalah, maksudnya kita perlu KYC nanti loh kalau kamu pengen redeem. Tunggu. Hosting back. Kenapa Holo Fuel judulnya apa nih? Holo Fuel, fakta. Oke, jadi Holo Fuel ini bisa di redeem. Para hoster dapat meredeem Holo Fuel mereka ke duit ya, ke fiat atau apa namanya nih, kripto, aset kripto lainnya. Banyak seperti contoh mungkin Ether, Bitcoin dan lain-lainnya lah. Cuman ya yang harus diperhatikan ialah orang-orang ini harus melakukan KYC. Jadi butuh KYC. Gimana tulis ya? Harus melalui KYC. Oke. Dan sebenarnya ada sesuatu yang penting juga sih dalam aku nggak tahu dia ada jelaskan nggak nanti di belakangnya tentang apa ini, tentang reserve account itu. Karena Holo Fuel ini, Holo ekosistem ini, dia punya satu lagi account yang bisa memproduksi Holo gitu loh. Nggak tahu lah, maju dulu lah, baca dulu yang lainnya, kita lanjut dulu.
AML and KYC regulations. Now that we understand why we need an agent-centric Holo Fuel, let's talk about how it works in practice. As we've already discussed, Holo Fuel will be backed by hosting, in that the holders of Holo Fuel can always redeem it directly for hosting services on the Holo network. And the issuance of Holo Fuel is decentralized to the individual host decision on when to borrow Holo Fuel. In addition, we make two other practical design choices. Firstly, we intend to implement a cap on the overall amount of fuel that can be created, proportional to the hosting capacity of the network. We do this to manage the overall risk exposure of the system and to ensure that the value of each individual unit of Holo Fuel cannot be inflated away by hosts working together. Secondly, we implement special accounts called reserve accounts. Reserve accounts add structural resilience by amplifying certain economic signals from hosts and acting on their behalf to sell and redeem Holo Fuel, influencing price and supply in the process. It's important to understand that reserve accounts do not manage Holo Fuel.
Oke. Jadi Holo Fuel is backed by hosting, not just a currency. Oke, ini udah bisa di redeem ya. Jadi dia nggak cuman di back by hosting. Oke. Authority to expand security is descent to host. Holo Fuel cannot expand beyond a cap. Jadi fakta lain yang penting adalah supply. Ya, kita ngomong tentang supply. Holo Fuel ini gimana cara ngomongnya? Cannot expand. Ya, ini tidak, tunggu supply tidak cap tidak mungkin melebihi produktivitas kapasitas hosting yang terjadi dalam ekosistem Holo. Oke. No. Holo chain. Ini faktanya, oke. Dan kita ngomong-ngomong tentang reserve system. Seterusnya, nggak usah. Ini biarin aja dulu di sini. Lalu kita ngomong tentang Holo reserve account. Holo reserve. Jadi ada namanya, balik ke belakang lagi, mundur.
On their behalf to sell and redeem Holo Fuel, influencing price and supply in the process. It's important to understand that reserve accounts do not manage Holo Fuel.
Tidak memanajemen. Gimana tuh? Memanajemen. Perlu diperhatikan bahwa Holo reserve account, gue sebalik lagi.
Together. Secondly, we implement special accounts.
Okay. Mengimplementasikan sebuah special account. Special. Holo Fuel
called reserve account.
Called reserve account. Okay. Part 1. Perlu diketahui bahwa reserve account tidak memanajemen Holo Fuel. Ya, lanjut.
Reserve accounts add structural resilience by amplifying certain economic signals from hosts and acting on their behalf to sell and redeem Holo Fuel, influencing price and supply in the process. It's important to understand that reserve accounts do not add structural resilience to the overall risk exposure of the system, and to ensure that the decisions on when to borrow Holo Fuel. In addition, we make two other practical design choices. Firstly, we intend to implement a cap on the overall amount of fuel that can be created, proportional to the hosting capacity of the network. We do this to manage the overall risk exposure of the system and to ensure that the value of each individual unit of Holo Fuel cannot be inflated away by hosts working together. Secondly, we implement special accounts called reserve accounts. Reserve accounts add structural resilience by amplifying certain economic signals from hosts and acting on their behalf to sell and redeem Holo Fuel.
Oke, jadi account ini berfungsi untuk orang meredeem Holo Fuel ke fiat atau kripto lain, dan juga tunggu.
Influencing price and supply in the process.
Untuk orang dapat meredeem Holo Fuel ke fiat ataupun kripto lain, sehingga yang gimana ngomongnya, dia juga mempengaruhi harga, dia juga sesuai dengan harga
and acting on their behalf to sell and redeem Holo Fuel.
Berfungsi sebagai representasi. Account ini berfungsi untuk sebagai representasi bagi orang yang hendak meredeem Holo Fuel ke fiat ataupun kripto lain. Gue harus save dulu dong, supaya aman. Oke.
Influencing price and supply in the process. It's important to understand that reserve accounts do not manage Holo Fuel, since that implies a form of agency and an objective function that they are managing towards.
Okay, then.
So, reserve accounts are accounts that can sell Holo Fuel against their credit limit as long as 3 conditions are met.
Oke, jadi udah disebutkan tadi.
First, the total amount of Holo Fuel must be below the system-wide cap.
The total. Ada 3 syarat. Tunggu, balik lagi dong.
So, reserve accounts are accounts that can sell Holo Fuel against their credit limit as long as 3 conditions are met. First, the total amount of Holo Fuel must be below the system-wide cap I mentioned previously. Second, the amount of recently sold Holo Fuel should be below a periodic cap. Essentially, we're rate limiting the creation of fuel. And third, they have to receive an accepted reserve currency, such as US dollars or Bitcoin, depending on what that reserve has been set up to accept.
Special account with different rules. Ada peraturan lah, ada total sekarang Holo Fuel must be bla bla bla. Ngomong apa sih ini? Aku nggak tahu gimana cara translate lah. Total Holo Fuel sold by reserve. Come on Matthew, I need Matthew to explain this thing. Dia kayak bahasa buku. Lah. Buang, nggak usah kita input ini. Tidak manajemen. Dan ada beberapa peraturan yang harus dipatuhi. Yang sudah di setting. Ada beberapa peraturan yang sudah di setting sebelum different rules for issuing Holo Fuel against their credit limit. Nggak usah lah, tulis ini biar aja dulu. Lanjut.
Now, anyone can buy Holo Fuel at a reserve account.
Sesiapapun dapat membeli Holo Fuel melalui reserve account ini. Oke. Lalu
But only Holo Fuel earned through hosting can be redeemed there.
tapi ada syaratnya ya.
And this creates a circular flow where new Holo Fuel is bought from a reserve and enters the general circulating supply until it's spent on hosting. And at that point, the host can either sell it on an exchange or redeem it, depending on which one has better pricing. If they sell it on an exchange, they still keep their receipt of hosting, so they can redeem a different unit of Holo Fuel at a reserve later. Now, the first reserves will be created by Holo, and this is done purely for practical reasons.
Tunggu. Anyone can buy hosting credit from reserve account, okay, subject to legal restriction, but only Holo Fuel earn by hosting. Ya, saya ngerti kok itu. Ini aku udah tulis kok. Steam Holo, mana dia tadi? Mana dia? Dapat di redeem. Para hoster dapat meredeem Holo Fuel mereka ke fiat, tapi harus KYC. Dan Holo Fuel itu memang harus murni lah. Harus murni didapati dijana ya. Didapati dijana melalui service hosting mereka. Oke. Tunggu. Anyone can buy subject to legal registration, but only Holo Fuel earned by hosting can be redeemed on a reserve. Holo Fuel will create first reserve, but third party may later. Early demand doesn't justify motivasi. Balik lagi ngomong
supply until it's spent on hosting. And at that point, the host can either sell it on an exchange or redeem it.
No.
An accepted reserve currency, such as US dollars or Bitcoin, depending on what that reserve has been set up to accept. Now, anyone can buy Holo Fuel at a reserve account, but only Holo Fuel earned through hosting can be redeemed there. And this creates a circular flow where new Holo Fuel is bought from a reserve and enters the general circulating supply until it's spent on hosting. And at that point, the host can either sell it on an exchange or redeem it.
Aku kurang ngerti yang nih. Jadi dia ngomong tadi kan, reserve sebenarnya ada tujuannya sih, orang bisa membeli Holo Fuel melalui reserve account dan ada kaitannya sama apa nih, circulating supply-nya yang akan digunakan oleh para hoster. Let me think ya, apa maksudnya. Siapa pun dapat membeli Holo Fuel melalui reserve account ini yang akan digunakan, yang dipakai untuk membayar para hoster. Oke, total sekurang Holo Fuel. Ini juga penting nih sebenarnya, gue harus balik lagi ke belakang. Oke, let's go back.
Do not manage Holo Fuel, since that implies a form of agency and an objective function that they are managing towards. So, reserve accounts are accounts that can sell Holo Fuel against their credit limit as long as three conditions are met. First, the total amount of Holo Fuel must be below the system-wide cap I mentioned previously. Second, the amount of recently sold Holo Fuel should be below a periodic cap. Essentially, we're rate limiting the creation of fuel. And third, they have to receive an accepted reserve.
Oke. Jadi aku ngerti. Tapi ada syarat yang harus dipenuhi sebelum reserve account ini bisa mengissue Holo Fuel. tapi ada 3 syarat. Oke, jadi antara lain total circulating hollow field must be below system wide cap proportional. System wide cap total hollow field sold by reserve must be below periodic cap. Pikir dulu ya. Total circulating hollow field must be below system wide cap. Total sirkulasi hollow field yang ada harus di bawah system wide cap. Maksudnya apa nih system wide cap?
Fuel. And third, the amount of recently sold hollow fuel should be below a periodic cap.
What is periodic cap? What is system wide cap? Dia nggak jelasin. Aduh. Di bawah system wide cap. Jadi gue kasih tanda warna merah ya, karena gue masih nggak ngerti apa maksudnya ini. Nanti akan kita pelajari, akan gue cari tahu. Lalu ini harus yang kecil. No. Oke, kemudian total hollow field yang dijual harus di bawah periodic cap. What the heck is this? Sales. Okay. Kemudian rate amount and the denomination of current deposit.
We're rate limiting the creation of fuel. And third, they have to be to receive an accepted reserve currency, such as US.
Ini nggak penting, ini nggak. Tapi ada syarat pun dapat membeli hollow field dipakai untuk Sumber reserve. Ini nggak ada hubungannya sih dengan mengisukan. Ini yang baru ada hubungannya. Yaitu timbul bla 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 bla. Cap hollow field ini tidak mungkin melebihi. Oke, udah tahu. Dapat meredeem orang perlu cap hollow field tidak menulis pun dapat. Dan tapi ini udah benar. Oke, kayak gini udah benar lah. Ya. Jadi tulisan warna merah ini karena gua belum mengerti apa maksudnya. Oke. Ini harus di research lah apa yang dimasukkan dengan periodic cap, apa yang dimaksud dengan system wide cap kan. Dia nggak ada ngomong, dia cuma baca dari sini aja.
Dollars or Bitcoin, depending on what that reserve has been set up.
Okay, next.
Is achieved in the network before additional reserves are created. Secondly, there will be regulatory complexity involved, and we want to clarify these on behalf of the community. The first reserves will be created by Holo, and this is done purely for practical reasons. First, reserve Holo fuel at a reserved later. The host can either sell it on an exchange or redeem it, depending on which one has better pricing. If they sell it on an exchange, they still keep their receipt of hosting, so they can redeem Holo Fuel, a different unit of Holo Fuel.
Gua ngerti. Ya. Jadi mana lagi? Mana dia? Para host dapat mereka, tapi mereka harus melakukan dan Holo Fuel harus mereka. Oke, jadi perlu diketahui juga ya. Catatan tambahan. Seterusnya. Catatan tambahan berhubungan dengan poin di atas ialah apa nih maksudnya, para hoster. Oke. Para hoster ini bisa menjual Holo Fuel melalui exchanger pihak ketiga. Tidak semestinya harus melalui ini loh, tidak seharusnya melalui reserve account, tapi receipt dia masih tetap ada. Jadi tapi receipt-nya gimana bilang ya, receipt-nya tuh receipt ya, receipt-nya itu masih utuh sama dia, receipt service-nya. Tapi receipt hostingnya masih utuh sama dia. Jadi dia masih punya kemampuan lah untuk menjual sekian banyak. Enggak, maksudnya dia masih punya kemampuan untuk meredeem Holo Fuel itu ke apa? Melalui apa? Account reserve, karena dia punya receipt-nya. Meskipun Holo Fuel-nya itu udah dijual ke exchanger. Oke, jadi this is a very good point. Tunggu, aku balik lagi. Catatan tambahan berhubungan dengan poin di atas. Para hoster bisa menjual Holo Fuel melalui exchange dia, tapi resource dia masih sama dia. Jadi dia masih memiliki sekian masih memiliki sejumlah kredit Holo Fuel yang dapat dia redeem. Dia redeem kapan saja di kemudian hari, mas ya. Yang dapat dia redeem di kemudian hari yang dia kehendaki gitu, mas. Yang dapat sesuai dengan kehendaknya. Oke, wah bahasa aku aneh nih. Oke, lanjut. Apa lagi?
Later. Now, the first reserves will be created by Holo, and this is done purely for practical reasons. First, reserves need liquidity to function well, so we want to ensure that critical mass is achieved in the network before additional reserves are created. Secondly, there will be regulatory complexity involved, and we want to clarify these on behalf of the community first and manage regulators. And third, reserves obviously have a systemic impact by design, so we need to be naturally cautious with the rollout.
Oke. Jadi poin penting adalah account ini ya, account reserve ini diregulasi. Oke, oleh pemerintah melalui proses ini account reserve yang di-issue oleh tim fondasi Holo akan diregulasi lah, maksudnya oleh pihak legal gimana bilang, oleh account reserve yang diisi oleh tim fondasi Holo ini akan diregulasi sesuai dengan hukum di negara. Nggak salah negara Gibraltar ya mereka, di Gibraltar ya. Jadi dia akan memenuhi lah sesuai, akan diregulasi gitu. Karena dia kan harus membayar, orang kan bisa meredeem hoster kan bisa meredeem Holo Fuel dia ke entah duit via entah apa. Jadi mereka harus melalui regulasi. Jadi account ini akan dipantau oleh pihak pemerintah gitu, maksudnya dipantau oleh hukum lah gitu, ada hukumnya gitu. Oke, cool. Next.
The price of holo fuel at a reserve is a critical variable since it acts as a stabilization.
Oke, jadi harga yang ditentukan dalam account reserve ini ditentukan oleh variasi yang berbeda-beda ya. Oleh berbagai faktor variasi. Okay.
Now, reserves themselves do not really have agency to set a price.
Ia akan bertindak. Gimana ngomong ya bagusnya ya? Harga yang ditentukan dalam account reserve ditentukan oleh berbagai faktor ya, dan tidak ada agen spesifik yang menentukan harganya. Oke.
Rather, they are acting on behalf of hosts when they do so. So, therefore, the price of the reserve account will reflect the pricing preferences.
Oke. Karena harga holo fuels yang ditentukan dalam account ini mengikuti ya gitu ya, mengikuti preferences, mengikuti rujukan dari harga hosting. Oke. Tunggu ulang. Harga yang ditentukan dalam account reserve ini harga holo fuels dalam account reserve ini ditentukan oleh berbagai faktor variasi dan tidak ada spesifik agent yang menentukan harganya. Oke. Karena harga holo fuels harganya akan mengikut rujukan dari harga hosting sebenarnya. Oke, harga rujukan karena harganya akan mengikuti rujukan dari harga hosting yang sebenarnya. Oke. Masuk common sense nggak? Harga holo fuel dalam account reserve ini ditentukan oleh berbagai faktor variasi dan tidak ada spesifik agen yang menentukan harganya karena harganya akan mengikut rujukan dari harga hosting yang sebenarnya. Oke, kayaknya make sense deh.
Hosts in aggregate. To be very specific here, individual hosts on the network are able to set a personal floor price for holo fuel in their hosting.
Oke, tunggu.
Specific here, individual hosts on the network are able to set a personal floor price for holo fuel in their hosting software. So, for example, a host can set it so that holo fuel will not automatically be redeemed below, let's say, 10 cents per unit. The reserve account will collect data on all hosts' individual floor pricing and then set a reserve price.
Tidak gimana? Aku harus ulang lagi nih supaya lebih clear. Tunggu, aku dengar.
For example, they could set it at the top quartile, so a price where 75% of hosts would be happy cashing out, and this price, of course, would refresh to take account of new data. And in addition, we may have additional feedback loops. So, for example, if Holo Fuel is consistently being sold out on the reserves, then the reserve account could automatically increase the price to the 80th percentile or above, because it's an indicator that, of course, there is too much demand, well, that the price on the reserves is too low. In contrast, Holo Fuel is redeemed based on LIFO prices, which is essentially the last in, first out, or the most recent price that it was.
Okay.
The price of the reserve account will reflect the pricing preferences of hosts in aggregate. To be very specific here, individual hosts on the network are able to set a personal floor price for Holo Fuel in their
secara spesifiknya setiap individu hoster dapat men-setting semacam dapat menetapkan men-setting lah harga Holo Fuel
software.
Dapat men-setting harga di software hostingnya. Okay.
So for example, a host can set it so that Holo Fuel will not automatically be redeemed below, let's say.
Jadi contoh ya, dia bilang contoh disetting secara otomatis untuk tidak menjual Holo Fuel, menjual ataupun meredeem lah, menjual atau meredeem Holo Fuel di bawah harga 10 sen dolar ya contohnya. Contoh di sini. Oke. Oke.
10 cents per unit.
Per unit. Ya. Per Holo Fuel lah, per hot.
The reserve account will collect data on all hosts.
Oke. Jadi di sini kita lanjut. Kemudian akan mengumpulkan semua data dari setiap individu tersebut, individu hoster tersebut,
individual floor pricing, and then set a reserve price.
Dan inilah yang menjadi harga Holo Fuel yang disetting oleh account reserve. Oke. Setiap individu hoster dapat men-setting harga Holo Fuel di software hostingnya. Contohnya seseorang hoster men-setting secara otomatis untuk tidak menjual atau meredeem Holo Fuel di bawah harga 0,10 sen. Ini nggak usah tulis lah. Kemudian akan reserve ini akan mengumpulkan semua data dari setiap individu hoster tersebut, dan inilah menjadi harga rata-rata. Ini menunggu sebuah data, dan inilah yang tunggu aku masih
they consider at the top quartile. So a price that where 75% of hosts would be happy cashing out, and this price, of course, would refresh to take account of new data. And in addition, we may have additional feedback loops. So, for example, if Holo Fuel is consistently being sold out on the reserves, then the reserve account could automatically increase the price.
Kamu sebenarnya dan inilah yang menjadi patokan yang akan dijual. Baru yang menjadi patokan harga Holo Fuel di account reserve. Oke. Save dulu. Aduh, ketinggalan.
And third, reserves obviously have a systemic impact by design. So we need to be naturally cautious with the rollout. The price of Holo Fuel at a reserve is a critical variable since it acts as a stabilization price. Now, reserves themselves do not really have agency to set the price. Rather, they are acting on behalf of hosts when they do so. So therefore, the price of the reserve account will reflect the pricing preferences of hosts in aggregate. To be very specific here, individual hosts on the network are able to set a personal floor price for Holo Fuel in their hosting software. So for example, a host can set it so that Holo Fuel will not automatically be redeemed below, let's say, 10 cents per unit. The reserve account will collect data on all hosts' individual floor pricing and then set a reserve price. For example, they could set it at the top quartile, so a price that where 75% of hosts would be happy cashing out. And this price, of course, would refresh to take account of new data. And in addition, we may have additional feedback loops. So for example, if Holo Fuel is consistently being sold out on the reserves, then the reserve account could automatically increase the price to the 80th percentile or above, because it's an indicator that, of course, there is too much demand, well, that the price on the reserves is too low. In contrast, Holo Fuel is redeemed based on LIFO prices, which is essentially the last in, first out, or the most recent price that it was bought at. And there's an example coming up. And this ensures that hosts receive a price that is close to the market rate. It also means that the fuel from a reserve is fully backed in that we will never have a debt between what we are willing to cash, the reserve cashes out at, and how much is.
Oke. Dengan ini, para hoster akan selalu mendapatkan harga yang terbaru. The most recent, sehingga ia tidak akan jauh berbeda dengan harga di market. Oke. Dan account reserve ini juga 100% back. Nggak tahu gimana ngejanya. 100% didukung. Didukung kayaknya aneh kan. 100% back lah.
Is left in the account, and it also means that that the reserve account cannot artificially prop up the price.
Oke. Bagus. Sebelah.
And finally, reserves do not replace exchanges, since only fuel earned from hosts from hosting can be redeemed. Now, I want to quickly consider how this pricing works in an extreme case of there being only a single host. If you have a single host, then the price of Holo Fuel on the reserve is literally the price that the host is willing to sell Holo Fuel at.
Okay.
And therefore, from a price perspective, there's no difference between Holo Fuel issued directly by that host selling on credit and going into a negative balance versus at an exchange versus buying it on the reserve. The functional difference is that if the host decides not to sell it on the exchange and essentially withdraws or prevents supply from being dynamic, the reserve prevents the host from unilaterally doing that. And when you extend that to the community generally, the reserves therefore represent the hosting community from a pricing perspective, but also prevents them from acting in a cartel-like manner to block the dynamic supply functionality of Holo Fuel.
Oke. Ini gue nggak tahu cara jelasin. Intinya ada peraturan-peraturan lah untuk mencegah orang-orang jahat gitu, untuk yang mencoba memanipulasi segala macam gitu. Ya itu saja sih. LIFO ini contoh ya.
It's an example of how LIFO works.
Okay.
I'm just using numbers which are easy to deal with. They are not a price prediction of any kind.
Wow, 75 cent.
So we start with an empty reserve account that currently sells Holo Fuel at, let's say, 75 cents each.
Okay.
Now, someone decides to buy 100 Holo Fuel for $75. Now there's $75 in the reserve account, and the redemption price is 75 cents.
Yeah.
Now let's say the market changes and the price of Holo Fuel on the reserve goes up to $1. And now someone buys 200 Holo Fuel at that price.
Yeah.
So now the redemption price on the reserve is $1.
Yes.
And if we assume no further Holo Fuel is sold by this reserve, then hosts collectively can redeem up to 200 Holo Fuel at a price of $1 each.
Okay.
Once 200 Holo Fuel has been redeemed, then the price will fall back down to 75 cents.
Oke. Jadi semuanya benar-benar back ya, dan ini segalanya 100% back dengan 100% back lah intinya. Ya gue ngerti LIFO last in first out.
Price, and there will be 100 Holo Fuel available at that price, corresponding to the 100 Holo Fuel that was bought previously.
Okay.
Once 100 Holo Fuel has then been redeemed at 75 cents, the reserve account is empty again, and no further fuel can be redeemed from this account.
Okay.
The reason why we implement these reserves is to add structural resilience and to ensure that Holo Fuel is an effective tool to facilitate hosting. In particular, it helps to solve several problems. As shown in the previous example, hosts can choose not to draw against the credit limits. In the absence of reserve accounts, this creates a credit freeze effect that prevents the supply from being dynamic, and this increases the volatility. And it also makes it difficult for users to get hold of Holo Fuel that they need. You could think of it as hosts collectively deciding to hold their customers for their hosting.
Oke, sangat bagus tuh sebenarnya. Kenapa ada account reserve ini? Tunggu. Kenapa account reserve? Oke. Seperti gimana ya cara menjelaskan biar lebih enak ya? Memecahkan beberapa permasalahan yang ada, yaitu host may choose not to prevent credit freeze that may lead to high deflations. Untuk mencegah harga yang tidak stabil. Menjadi tidak menentu. Tidak stabil. Maksudnya tidak stabil ini bukan bermaksud stable coin ya. Maksudnya nggak stabil ini ialah antara gini loh, maksudnya stabil di sini maksudnya semacam biar harganya tuh kayak ada semacam discovery price gitu. Jadi harga Holo Fuel tuh ada semacam floor price, ada semacam harga yang sudah dipatokkan gitu. Tentu saja harganya bukan bermaksud akan stay di 1 sen, akan stay di 10 sen, enggak. Maksudnya dia stabil tuh enggak berubah dengan cepat gitu. Jadi kalau kadang orang bikin utilitas token gitu kan, pengen pakai utilitas token beli barang contohnya ya. Tak token apalah, kadang harganya itu tergantung market. Maksudnya kadang harganya itu bisa hari ini $1, besok bisa tiba-tiba jadi debu harganya kan. Tapi dengan tujuannya yang dimaksudkan dengan adanya semuanya dilakukan dengan adanya reserve account ini dan segala peraturan ini, dia untuk mencegah harganya nggak terjadi seperti itu. Jadi untuk mencegah misalnya hari ini harganya 10 sen, nanti besok tiba-tiba jadi 1 sen, jadi nggak akan berubah gitu besar, maksudnya tidak begitu volatile gitu loh. Jadi ada semacam discovery price. Ya ini dimasukkan dengan stabil. Ini harus dikasih garis bawah lah, karena agak kadang perkataan stabil ini lumayan bikin kita confused, bikin kita bingung kadang. Lanjut, apalagi dia mau ngomong?
To withdraw hosting from customers until we push up the price in a monopoly situation.
Untuk mencegah monopoli. Untuk mencegah monopoli. Untuk mencegah monopoli holder dari para holder yang bikin orang susah membeli Holo Fuel. Oke. Monopoli atau manipulasi lah, manipulasi harga dari para holder ataupun para paus lah. Terutamanya para paus. Oke, jadi Holo Fuel ini kan bisa dibeli kan di reserve account. Sehingga kalau orang itu ingin pegang gitu, ingin mengimpact harganya nggak bisa. Demikian kompetitif lagi. Aku balik sedikit dulu ke belakang supaya lebih jelas.
The credit limits. In the absence of reserve accounts, this creates a credit freeze effect that prevents the supply from being dynamic, and this increases the volatility. And it also makes it difficult for users to get hold of Holo Fuel that they need. You could think of it as hosts collectively deciding to hold their customers for their hosting, well, to withdraw hosting from customers until we push up the price in a monopoly situation.
Yeah.
It also helps us to ensure that Holo Fuel is driven by hosting dynamics. To understand this more, realize that although reserves allow anyone to buy Holo Fuel for any need, including non-hosting needs,
Yep.
the supply of Holo Fuel.
Oke. Aku ngerti. Oke, encoding.
And therefore the supply of Holo Fuel can adjust to non-hosting usage. The pricing is always linked to host. And therefore the supply change overall is based on the supply and demand dynamics of hosting, not the general economy.
Gimana jelasin ya? Supaya gimana ngomong? Keep non-hosting pandemic. Balik lagi lah biar lebih jelas. Aduh.
To understand this more, realize that although reserves allow anyone to buy Holo Fuel for any need, including non-hosting needs, the supply of Holo Fuel and therefore the supply of Holo Fuel can adjust to non-hosting usage. The pricing is always linked to host. And therefore the supply change